Good morning, everyone. Or shall I say grand rising. It is about 6:45 here in California, 6:45 a.m. And I have been up since the middle of the night. We're actually taking a fun little weekend trip. Hi, Arpita. Am I saying your name right? Good morning. Or is it morning where you are? Where are you watching from? Yeah, I was preparing for our weekend trip. We're going to one of our favorite spots up in the mountains. It's called Lake Arrowhead. We're heading up there and just trying to get everything organized. Okay, awesome, Arpita. Yes, you can have a card. Would you like one for general or romance? But yeah, so I've been up and just been preparing things to try to cut down on the stress of trying to pack and gather stuff last minute. And I was like, let me go live and let me talk to the people a little bit. Okay, Arpita, I'm gonna pull you a card right now, okay? Arpita, are you single or in a relationship or dating? Okay, she said she's in a relationship. Okay, just think about your partner as I'm shuffling. Oh, card came out. I'm gonna pull a second card. Okay, so the cards that came out is, the first one that came out is separation. It says time apart from your partner is on the horizon. And the second card is new love. Okay, I wanted to get a clarifier for that first card. That usually is alarming to people unless they're expecting it. So are you worried about you all breaking up, or we've been having some problems in the relationship? Is someone not content with how things are right now? Questioning if this is the right relationship. Either you or your partner. And just know that any card or anything that, anyone who reads energy or cards or anything like that, anything they tell you is just based on the current energy. You always have the power to change things in your life, change your path, shift your energy. You said, no, things are very sorted. His family also accepted me. We'll be taking things forward in 1 month. Okay, well, just look out for that. Keep an eye. I'm going to pull one more clarifier. Because usually when you get that first card, like separation, like I said, unless you're expecting it, it can be alarming. So that's why I did the second card. So for new love to come out. Pull a third for you, just so we can kind of round out what we're getting. Oh, that came out right away. Okay, so this card is listen. It says, quiet your mind. I'll show you really quick. Listen. It says, quiet your mind, beloved one, and listen to our gentle reassurance that everything has been taken care of. Stay in a quiet and receptive state without worrying about the exact nature of your desire's manifestation. A quiet mind and body hears us quickly and clearly. This is our request to you. Listen. So, kind of going back to my initial question, are either of you worried or concerned, or you said you'll be moving things forward? Is there any fear around that, or caution, anything like that? So what that third card is kind of telling me is that you don't want to be led astray by those worries or fears if they're coming up. That you're receiving guidance and you're being reassured that everything is going to be fine. So I think it's like almost like a healthy type of, I don't know if I want to use the word apprehension or if I want to use the word nervousness. Yeah, okay, so just the acceptance part at my family end. So if you're worried that that could lead to the end of the relationship, or if your family doesn't accept your relationship or your partner, don't worry about that. Okay, don't worry that you'll need to have to find somebody else or be with somebody else, or that it won't go according to plan. Focus on what you want. Give that your energy, give that your focus, and don't worry yourself. Because for these two to come up, the new love, they're upside down, separation and new love, I mean, they're related. So, like I said, it could just be an unconscious fear that, hey, if things don't go how we want, or when you're in love and you're really attached to the person, sometimes you do have an underlying fear of things not working out, or, things like that. So, but I think that third card kind of settled it, to just listen to your heart, listen to what you know. Don't be led astray by your fears or thinking worst case scenario and things like that. Just reassure yourself. Listen to your divine guidance and quiet your mind. Focus on the positive, because everything's going to be fine. Okay? So I hope that helped. So, what I wanted to talk about a little bit is mental health. She said, yes, definitely we'll do that. Thanks a lot. Love, blessings to you. Same to you. You're welcome. I wanted to talk about mental health and how that impacts your relationships and even your physical health. So sometimes, we as women, I mean, anybody, not just women, but I'll just speak to women because I am one. I know what it's like. And primarily, my followers are women. But there's a lot that can go on inside of us that will impact how we feel. And how we feel will impact how we act and behave and how we think. So sometimes when you find yourself in a place where your relationships are not that great, and not just romance, but even your relationships with friends, coworkers, family, things like that, um, sometimes there's a need to look internally and see, how's your mental health, also how's your physical health, because your physical health can impact your mindset and how you behave. And of course, the energy that you put out, gets mirrored back to you. So I come across some folks who seem to be always fighting. They always feel like, they have to defend themselves, or that they're always finding misfortune, or even women who, every guy that they date is untrustworthy. Every guy that they date just wants them for their body and not, a real relationship, or they're don't have good character, things like that. But you have to look at, you are the common thread in all of your relationships. So meeting one person that has issues or character flaws, or one person you're having a disagreement with, I mean, it's still cause to look at it, but that's kind of a one-off thing. But if it's multiple, if it's two or more, that's something you want to look at, because to me that means, okay, why are you attracting that to yourself? Why is drama following you? Why does it seem that everyone has a problem with you, or you have a problem with everyone, or a majority of people? How do you feel about people in general? If you're dating or in a relationship, how do you feel about the opposite sex in general? What are your thoughts? If I was to ask you, to describe men to a young girl who's new to dating or something like that, and you were going to give her kind of a summary of what, the dating world and what men are like, what would you say? Because where your head is at is going to be directly connected to where you find yourself. And I posted a tweet. If you don't already follow me on Twitter, which you probably don't, follow me on Twitter. It's XO Ashley Janae. But I was posting that, if you have relationship issues across the board, the common denominator is you. And if you are not settled within, if you have some stuff going on that's impacting how you act, and as a result of that, you are basically a match for issues. You're a match for tension, contention, problems with others. That's what your life is going to show you, because that's basically the level that you're on. That's the frequency that you're on. And that's not the fault of other people. You cannot blame every single person in your life for how you're feeling and what you're experiencing. You have to take ownership of your own experience and your own feelings. So that's when I say, is it time to look within? Is there something under the surface that you have not addressed, that you may need to go to therapy for, or speak to a professional, or unpack? And like so many people, you don't want to, so you put it off. You numb it with food, relationships, drugs, alcohol, being a busybody, being an overachiever, just being detached. That's something else that people do, just saying, I don't care, I'm not worried about it, I don't have any feelings about it, even though it's something they should and would naturally have feelings about. Those things don't go away, because emotions are things, and it's energy, and it does have to be processed out. It doesn't just disappear. Okay, you have to acknowledge it and process it. So processing it is not always an outward thing. Sometimes you process it within. Sometimes you process it in your journal. Sometimes you'll process it in prayer or in a session with your therapist or your coach. Sometimes you'll process it with the person that you're having the issue with. Some people even process their emotions, in their mind, but it's while they're doing an activity or while they're meditating, or like when I mention activity, I'm using an example of like exercise, or if they'll like take a retreat and kind of go away, and during that time away, they'll be processing things that they need to give some attention to. But bottom line is, those things pile up. They don't just go away. So you do have to give attention to and process all emotions. And when you don't, and you start to get emotionally backed up, you're not going to experience harmony in any relationship on an authentic level. Now, you can fake it or you can keep it surface, but it's never going to feel really fulfilling or real to you, because you're not being real. You're disturbed emotionally, and you're just putting on a face. You're just going to work and saying, yeah, I'm fine, let's go to lunch and blah, blah, blah. Or when people ask, how are you? The usual, I'm fine, and you? And you're just kind of ignoring what's really going on. And you can only do that for so long. It starts to creep its way to the surface, whether you want it to or not. It starts to affect your temperament. It starts to affect your thought patterns. It starts to affect things that you're manifesting in your life, because those emotions have to be acknowledged and processed. So there is no benefit to avoiding doing that work. And being honest with you, it's not easy at first, but it does get easier, and it is worth it. It is something that once you are more practiced at it, you can process through things a lot quicker. A lot of us subconsciously are afraid to feel some of our negative emotions because we are afraid of disappearing into them. On a primal level, we're afraid that we'll die. We're afraid that we will disappear into the abyss of those negative feelings. And it's not really a logical fear. It's more fear on a cellular level. Like, I don't want to go there. I don't even want to allow myself to cry or break down or go back mentally to this painful ordeal or event, or think about how I felt when this or that occurred. But it kind of has to be done because, like I said, the emotions don't disappear. They actually stay stored and trapped in your body. And it comes back up, it comes back out. And what you don't want to do is sabotage your current and future relationships based on past events and old emotions that are staying relevant because they're in queue. They are still in your body. They are waiting to be acknowledged and processed out. So even though they're not relevant now, you keep them relevant by not acknowledging and processing them. So I brought that up to say sometimes if you're having issues in your relationships, that has a lot to do with it. It's not so much the person, although sometimes it can be the person, but keep in mind too, you're vibrating at a certain level. And when you have a lot of backed up, unprocessed negative emotions, do you think you're high vibration? Do you think you are attracting the best for your life? Or do you think that you are attracting from that wounded, emotionally backed up, stunted, negative place? It's almost like, when you consume a lot of unhealthy food and products and things like that, you don't expect to attract the benefits of someone who does the opposite. You kind of should expect to be tired overweight, sluggish, not feel your best because of what's in you and what you're putting in you. So it's the same concept that if you're holding a lot of negative emotion and unprocessed trauma and feelings unacknowledged, you're not going to attract the best. So I want all women to get away from saying men are insert negative quality or trait, because all men are not anything but men. And, some might even debate that, but that's another conversation. But all men are not anything. If all the men that you meet or that you date or entertain are a certain way, the common denominator is you. So you want to look at, why are you attracted to men like that? Why are you entertaining men like that? Why is that who's continually coming into your field and sparking your romantic interest? Again, like I said, the common denominator is you. It's not really for you to get in someone else's head and tell them about themselves and tell them the work they need to do and how horrible they are. It's more so for you to look at, why is this even coming up in my reality? Why am I a match for this? Why is this person attracted to me, and why am I attracted back on some level? Another consideration is your health in general. So I was watching a video of someone else on Instagram. She was talking about how she had felt and been feeling for several weeks, and she discovered her hormones were imbalanced, and how her mother had told her son that, I think your mom is bipolar, or she has borderline personality disorder or something like that. Basically, unofficially diagnosing her with a mental health issue. But it turns out a lot of the stuff that was going on, a lot of her mood swings and things like that, were attributed to her hormones. So you do want to get in the habit of checking in with your body and seeing what's going on. And if you notice that you're very irritable, if you notice that it doesn't take much for you to get upset, for you to get triggered, for you to snap at people, if you are tired, sluggish, retaining weight, even though you are doing, the things that would normally cause someone to drop excess weight or to maintain a healthy weight, like, consuming a healthy diet, exercise, supplements, so on and so forth. You want to look at that. If anything abnormal is going on with your body, you want to look at that and pursue it with whomever you feel compelled or called. See a doctor. If you're not into Western medicine, see an Eastern medicine practitioner, see an acupuncturist, see an herbalist, see somebody, or do it all. But bottom line is, look into it. Okay, don't just assume that this is just you, or that it's because of the circumstances in your life. Because when you are nourished on the inside and when you're healthy on the inside, it reflects on the outside. So when your mental health is not the best, when your physical health is not the best, you're going to see the effects in your relationships, in your interactions, and in your life. There's no way around it. If you think about it logically, it doesn't even make sense. Because you're not at your best, and you attract what you are. So if you're not at your best, you're not going to attract the best. And, that's it in a nutshell. So sometimes I've heard of women's birth control. If you're on a form of birth control, really impacting your hormone levels. And if you have thyroid issues, if you have vitamin deficiencies, if you have any conditions that are impacting or hormone levels, get a full panel from your doctor. Get a full panel, get a full physical and all that. speak to them about any concerns that you have. Ask to see your results, because sometimes, for instance, a doctor may run your thyroid panel and there's a range of what they consider to be a normal level of thyroid hormone, and you may be just right at the tip of what's not normal. But if you're within that range, they will say it's normal. Or I think different practitioners have different ranges sometimes. So just has to see your results and kind of go from there and listen to your body, but look into that, because everything is not men's fault. Everything is not other people's fault. And if you want to live in harmony, you got to make sure that you're bringing harmony to the table, that you're not bringing your issues and your baggage and then pointing the finger at others and saying how they made you feel, how they're not treating you a certain way, how they're causing all these problems. But it's multiple people in your life. You're getting mad at strangers, you're getting mad at coworkers, your boss, your significant other, your kids. Like, it can't be everybody. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, these people who don't even know each other, everyone's out to get you and to irritate you and make you mad, or make you feel bad, or make you feel unimportant or abandoned, or whatever it is that you're feeling. You got to look at that. So unresolved mental health issues, unresolved health issues will definitely impact your relationship. I even believe, and this is actually from personal experience too, that when you are carrying a lot of extra weight, and I'm not talking like just 5 pounds, I'm talking about like a significant amount of extra weight, there's emotional causes attributed to that too. Your negative emotion that's not processed and that trauma is actually stored in your fat cells. It's actually stored in the cells of your body. And a lot of us are familiar with emotional eating. A lot of us are familiar with, like I said, drinking, using drugs, laying in the bed, doing whatever we need to feel good. And a lot of the habits that people have, especially when you're overweight, are not healthy coping habits for how to deal with those unresolved emotional issues. You're not dealing with it in a healthy way. There are some folks who, when they get stressed, they go for a run or whatever, but generally, unless you've kind of started your weight loss journey, and even though you're still overweight, you've lost weight, or you are currently losing weight, if that's not the case for you, you probably don't have a healthy coping mechanism. And I also believe that when your mind is right, when you are at peace and in harmony, and you're generally in good health, but you're carrying extra weight, you actually have the desire, the energy, and the motivation to make that time for yourself to get to a healthy weight. Because you see that you would live life optimally if you were. I know, speaking for myself, when I was, I'm still not at my goal weight, but when I was at my heaviest, there was shame attached to that. I wanted to hide. I didn't feel like I looked good in clothes, so I didn't want to clothes shop. I didn't really want to even get dressed in real clothes. I would wear like a lot of sweats and t-shirts and jeans, and not really be putting effort into dressing in the most flattering things, because I didn't feel like there was any way that you could really flatter how much extra weight I was carrying. And that's going to affect your mindset too. Not feeling good about your body. I was experiencing physical limitations, like going up the stairs, feeling it in my knees, being winded, just how the extra weight impacts your life. And it's usually not in a good way. And that's just another thing on your plate. That's just another issue to grapple with, is the fact that I'm overweight. And sometimes you can ignore it, especially if your spouse isn't making a fuss, or you're kind of comfortable. But most of us, would say if we could snap our fingers and be at a healthy weight for our height and age, we would. So that right there kind of proves that most of us, majority of us, do want to be at a healthy weight. So, consider that. Look at that as an indication of what am I ignoring? What am I not dealing with? I've been on my weight loss journey consciously since April, and it's not been easy all the time, but I'm very dedicated to it, and doing it for a variety of reasons. But one reason I'm so dedicated is because I know to get to the weight that I was at my highest, I overindulged. It was way too many nights of fast food and pizza and cookies and soda and McDonald's and all that other stuff. So conversely, I don't need to be indulging every day right now, because that's how I got to the point that I was. That's how I got to that weight that was excessive and wasn't good for me or good to me. So I don't even really need to feel deprived right now. And that's the mindset that I've adopted, is I'm not deprived, because I had my time of going ham on junk and whatever I wanted. And right now is a season of being more disciplined. Right now is a season of being more conscious of what I'm putting in my mouth, of moving my body, of being a healthy weight, of picking up healthier habits, and not being so flippant with, my body, my appearance, my health in general. So if you look at it like that, it's hard to deny yourself things, but if you, unless your weight is related to a health issue, if you put on extra weight because of your eating habits or your lack of exercise, you've already allowed yourself to indulge and to eat whatever you wanted, when you wanted, how you wanted. But that's not how you are meant to live every single day of your life, especially if it negatively impacts you. And it's not to say you can't go on vacation or have your moments where you do get to indulge and enjoy. That's just not every day. A lot of us, do or have done that in excess. And once it starts to get excessive, and once you start to see it negatively impacting your life, your appearance, your weight, your health, your mindset, it's time to do something. So pizza and all that stuff ain't going nowhere. And you don't need to have it right now. You can find healthier versions. You can find alternatives. You only have so much room in your stomach. So as long as you put something in there, as long as you are nourishing yourself, and you find your little, snacks or desserts or whatever that you can have that are healthier, you'll be fine. You really will be. There's certain food I haven't had in a long time. And as much as you think, I'm going to miss it so bad, you really do get used to not having it like that. And then it becomes an occasional indulgence. And even then, when I indulge, I'm careful to not overdo it, because, I don't want to fall into old habits. I don't want to develop a taste for it where I want it all the time. I still want to stay disciplined, and being disciplined feels so much better than, flying by the seat of my pants and just doing whatever and looking like I just do whatever, looking like I don't, take care of my body or care about my appearance, and feeling like that also, so that's my riff on that. I want to pull a couple of general cards for whoever ends up watching this. If you watch the replay, please hashtag replay. And thank you if you've watched this far. It's a little early, so I didn't really expect too many people to hop on. We've had a couple people come and go. If you, well, no one's on right now. I was going to say, if you come on, say hi so that I can acknowledge you. But if no one's on, they're not going to hear that until they watch the replay. So never mind. But I just want to pull a couple general cards of guidance see what comes out for my followers and anyone watching this video, asking for a divine message for you. And once this card comes out, y'all let me know how it resonates with you. If it makes sense, if you'd like more clarification, if you have a question around it, I'll be happy to answer you. I am also taking on new clients for coaching. So if you're interested, go ahead and schedule a consult call with me. Now, I want to be clear before I read this card. I want to be clear. I'm so not into high pressure sales. I'm so not into trying to convince somebody to do something that's supposed to be good for them, because I believe you have to have a certain level of readiness for it to even work and to be receptive to it. It's not about me being after getting more clients or getting your money and having that motivation be about me. I truly have a desire to serve and help. I, especially as a woman who was single for 10 years plus, single mom, went through some very high, very intense, highs and lows in relationships over the years. I just have a desire and a calling to help. And that's really what it comes down to. But I don't want it to feel like I'm a car salesman. I don't want it to feel like I'm begging, trying to manipulate, convince people to work with me. I want clients who feel drawn to me. I want clients who are what they call soulmate or kismet clients, where, you follow me, you've been, watching, you resonate, you feel like you vibe with me, and you believe I can help you. And then, from there, I do everything possible to make sure that you're satisfied with the service you receive, that we nurture and foster a beautiful, happy, productive, fruitful relationship, and that you get what you want. I'm invested in your outcomes. I'm invested in seeing women not be alone that don't want to be. I have many family members and friends that are single, and they're great women, and for whatever reason their relationships just don't work out, and that's really sad to me. And for a while I was one of those women, and I found myself in a group of women and with friends who, it was a common thread, all educated, all doing pretty well in life, but and all had good hearts, but couldn't navigate romantic relationships. And I naturally have an interest in that. I naturally have a calling to that area of life. So I've done a lot of studying, a lot of trial and error personally, a lot of observing others, observing myself and what works for me and in my relationships, and a lot of helping others. And I'm invested in seeing that you get what you want, that you be able to partner and find a fulfilling relationship with a partner that you love and appreciate, that love and appreciates you and treats you well. Because why not? Especially women of color, especially Black women, because that's a demographic I closely, identify with and belong to. And because I know personally the struggles that we have in that area of life, because how a lot of us are taught, because of our culture, because of our history, and just the dynamics in our community between us and the men in our community. So let me read the card. So this card is See Only Love. It says, look past the seeming errors, mistakes, and misunderstandings and see only the love within each person, including yourself. Your resolute focus upon the love that underlies every situation brings about healing in undreamed of ways. It's a nice card. So basically, see the best, choose to believe the best, have compassion with yourself, have compassion with others, give people a break. Everyone's doing the best they can, even if their best is horrible. Just try to not let anger and negativity be your first response, or at least not let it be the choice that you make as far as how you feel or look at a situation, and that you choose to stay there. That may be your initial jump off response, but choose to shift, choose to reframe, choose to see things differently in a way that benefits you and those around you for your own sake. And I'm pulling a romance card, and then I will be hopping off of here so that I can get ready for work. All right, this card is Religious Factors, and it says your love life is influenced by your religious upbringing and spiritual path. So for anyone watching this card is encouraging you to have faith. And I think it ties into what we were talking about a little bit earlier. Because of course your mental health and physical health can be impacted by your spiritual walk as well. That is a great way, if you nurture a healthy spiritual life, to cope with stress, to remove and heal disease in the body, to process through some of those negative emotions that you may be carrying, and to empower yourself. So your love life is impacted by your spiritual walk and your religious beliefs. I'm not really going to zero in too much on the religious beliefs, but definitely the spiritual walk. Nurturing your connection with the Most High, identifying with and tuning into something bigger than yourself so that you can see your life and your circumstances from a bird's eye view, from a higher perspective. And, focusing on love and positivity, like the first card said, definitely being of a higher mind. That's not a worldly thing. That's not a worldly mindset or a worldly perspective. People that are in the world and being of the world are not going to think like that. That's someone who's consciously, like I said, choosing to tune in to something higher. And as a result, you'll vibrate higher, and you will have better relationships, better health, a better mindset. You'll attract better in your life, and you will radiate positivity to others. So you'll be a light in their life. Same way that light's shining on me. That's how you'll be for others. And I got a couple more cards just as I was shuffling, talking to y'all, just to see what would come out. Got the Soulmate card. So, it was upside down. Soulmate. So, a lot of you are either with a soulmate or trying to manifest a soulmate relationship. Quick riff on soulmate relationships. I believe we have many soulmates. Folks that are not always even our romantic partner. Sometimes your soulmate is your best friend or family member, or someone else in your life that your soul knows. Y'all are familiar with each other. There's just a deep connection, might even be like from a former lifetime connection. But yeah. So a lot of people are looking for their soulmate or with their soulmate, and you definitely have to be right in order to make that relationship harmonious. you can mess up a connection with someone that you're meant to be with or meant to be connected to if you walk a path that is not aligned with union with them. So basically, if you don't take care of yourself, if you don't take care of your mind, if you don't watch how you act, the energy you carry, how you behave, you can ruin a connection, even with someone that you're supposed to be with, or you can cause separation between you two that didn't have to happen. There's some people who are in separation from their soulmate because they wouldn't do their work, or the soulmate wouldn't do their work. And that has caused a delay in the union or in the relationship being a healthy, happy one. And then the last card is forgiving and learning. So I believe that ties into the soulmate thing and also what we were talking about seeing only love and having faith. It says, as you release and heal the past, you experience more love in your present moments. And that ties into what I was talking about the mental health and the emotions and all that stuff too. So I think that's a nice card to round out everything. So definitely, as you start doing your work, you're able to look back on your previous experiences and see the lessons in it. And you're able to, as I mentioned earlier, have compassion for yourself, have compassion for others, and to reframe those experiences so they no longer hit you in the same way. There's some things that have happened to me that I can talk about now that almost seems like I'm telling a story of someone else because I don't identify with it in the same way, even though I know it happened to me and it was part of my life, because I have detached from it emotionally and I have moved forward. But it's a healthy detachment. It's not I'm pretending it didn't happen, burying my head in the sand type of thing. It is, I've looked at it, I've acknowledged it, I've processed those emotions, and I've released. So, and that frees you up for more positive beliefs, emotions, relationships and interactions. That frees up your energy, that frees up space in your mind, your body, and your heart. So you're trying to manifest a soulmate relationship. You're trying to make your relationship that you're currently in with your soulmate or soulmates more harmonious. See only love. Have faith and get your spiritual walk together. And forgive and learn from the past. Okay, process those emotions, get your health right, get your mental health together. And don't let the old stuff, the past stuff, hold you back from having a good future, hold you back from having what you really desire and deserve. That's silly, and it's actually sad for someone to let something old, something that happened a long time ago that is over, continue to affect them in a negative way to the point where it spoils their future or delays blessings or sabotages the good that they are trying to create in their lives. But you have to take responsibility for yourself, for the energy you hold, for the beliefs you have, for your actions. And you have to do your work. And I'll forever say that because it's true. There is no way around it. There's no shortcut. You have to do your work. And the work never ends. But like I said, you won't stay at level 1 for forever. The more you work at it, the more you practice doing your work, you'll get faster. It will get easier in some ways. And you'll elevate, and you won't have the same issues for the rest of your life. You just got to begin. And today is as good a time as any. So I send you all lots of love and light and wish you a very pleasant and peaceful Friday and weekend, wherever you are in the world. And if you have any questions, send me a DM or comment on the video, and I will reply to your comment. And I will talk to you all soon. Have a great day. Bye for now.